We all know that lasagna is the ultimate go-to dish, and this version might just be the best because it uses all of these suggestions from you guys, and that's what makes it so cool. Let's make it.
First up, we need to make the meat sauce for our lasagna. So we're going to chop up a load of veg, chuck it into a pan with a glug of olive oil, let it sweat off for a few minutes with the lid on.
Those Italians call it a soffritto.
Oh, they have such clever words.
And what's particularly awesome about this lasagna is it's got layers of green bits in between. So take yourself a couple of courgettes, dice them up nice and small and fry off in a pan. Then 2 generous handfuls of spinach and wilt it right down and squeeze out that extra liquid.
I just love your Popeye movement.
Squeeze out the extra liquid. Next up, adding into the pan our meat. That's half minced beef, half minced pork, go for the fatty stuff, and then a tablespoon of dried oregano and a couple of bay leaves. Break it all up in the pan.
And the last thing to add into our meat sauce is all of the liquid. So take a tin of canned tomatoes, pour it in, and then fill the can half back up with water again and chuck that in. Then some tomato puree, some red wine, and then the thing that's probably going to confuse you slightly, milk. Honestly, milk. Milk. This was one of your suggestions, milk.
It's the way they do it in Bologna. The meat sauce needs to bubble away very, very gently for plenty of time. A couple of hours is good. In the meantime, we can make a white sauce. So melt your butter in a pan and add in the flour, stir it to a paste, that's called a roux, and then dribble in the milk a little bit at a time. Keep stirring as you do so to keep it smooth, and let it bubble for a couple of minutes. That's the white sauce.
Now, when we talk to you about cheese, there are a number of different suggestions and options, but honestly, the best one was the one that said, use 4 cheeses.
Parmesan, ricotta, mozzarella and cheddar all going here with a grating of nutmeg. And that's your cheese sauce done.
It's not a cheese though, is it, nutmeg?
No, it's a little nut of meg.
Shut up, Meg. Now let's layer this mother up.
Best thing to do is grab all your components and make sure you're happy with how they taste now. So season them, make sure they're perfect, fish out the bay leaves, and then alternate layers all the way up of meat and pasta and white sauce and green stuff.
What is it with you and your hand movements today?
Just helping.
If you want to get the full written recipe with step-by-step instructions and photos for this lasagna, then make sure you click on the link down below. Or if you fancy checking out some other family dinner time favourites, then make sure you click on the little eye up there, and you might find a few other surprises. This looks delicious.
It is going to be delicious, but it does first need to go into an oven at 220 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes, just so it's bubbling on top. That's why we finished it with Parmesan. There we go, look at the layers on that. Now you're best off leaving it for 15 minutes or so once it comes out of the oven before you try and serve it. But with all of your suggestions, this has become our ultimate lasagna. Sorted! And if you don't want to miss out on recipes like this in the future, then make sure you're subscribed to Sorted Food and you'll be notified every time we upload a new recipe.